Parenting can be beautiful, but it can also be really overwhelming. That's why I want to tell you about DOA Health. They bring together coaching, workshops, and on-demand support designed specifically for parents, all reviewed by maternal health professionals. It's about caring for every part of you, not just surviving the day-to-day. And yes, you'll even find Quiet Connection episodes featured right inside DOA, so we can keep walking this journey together. If you're ready to try it out, Quiet Connection listeners can get 10% off with the code QUIET10, all uppercase and the number 10. Just head to doahealth.com or grab the app in the App Store. Welcome back to Quiet Connection, a podcast dedicated to ending the stigma around postpartum mental health. I'm Chelsea. Today I'm joined by Rachell, a nurse, tech innovator, and maternal health advocate who opens up about her long and painful journey through recurrent pregnancy loss, medical dismissal, and finally, the fight that brought her son into the world. Rachell's story is one of resilience and advocacy, and she's now using her experience to support others through her nonprofit, A Light After 9, and her patient advocacy app, SpeakRx. This is a conversation about grief, hope, and turning pain into purpose. Here's Rachell. Hello! Today I'm here with Rachell. Rachell, how are you?
I am doing great. Glad to be here.
I am so excited to have you here. Rachell is another connection that this has been a long time coming. I feel like I say that a lot lately, but life has been lifing for both of us.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Rachell, you do so many incredible things, but I love to let my guests speak for themselves. So it would be amazing if you could introduce yourself and also let us know who you were before you became a parent.
Oh, yes. Goodness, I have to go way back. But my name is Rachell Dumas. I am from New Orleans. I am also a registered nurse. I'm a maternal health advocate. I was kind of catapulted into that after a tumultuous pregnancy journey that lasted 4 years. I am a mom of a 2-year-old potbelly toddler who completely runs my life and barely speaks English. I am a doctoral student. I'm studying for nursing informatics, and I am also a woman in tech and am coding an app that will change the face of patient-provider interactions. So I wear a lot of hats.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. And I wasn't even aware of the app. And I mean, I follow you religiously. So like, this is exciting. I'm excited about
it's rolling
this.
out. It's a lot going on with that. We're in a research and development phase, and I'm coding it myself. So it's a lot. It is a lot.
Yeah. And you're like a forever student. Like you're constantly learning, constantly trying to like up your game, which I respect.
I am. Chelsea, if you see me in law school, like when my child is out the house, just don't be surprised. I feel like nobody would be surprised at this point.
No.
Nobody would be surprised. But
I wouldn't at all.
Yeah. Right. Before all of this, I was still a nurse. I was working in critical care. Never maternal health. That wasn't even remotely on my radar at all. I was all critical care, saving lives, trauma, like, yes, we got them back, where all the action is. And I was really walking in my purpose at that time as well as a trauma and critical care nurse. And I didn't have kids, and I was a travel nurse, and entrepreneurship and motherhood and maternal health was not on my radar at all. Matter of fact, if we had a maternal health patient, I would call OB so quick and say, what are we doing? It's a patient and another patient inside of a patient. Like, I don't know. Please come down.
What to do with this person?
Come down here. That's how far removed I was from maternal health.
We're going to get into it, but I feel like a lot of us in this space, like, and I'm not a healthcare worker, but I am a maternal health and maternal mental health advocate. Like, I feel like a lot
Yeah,
of us, this was not in
it wasn't.
our realm at all
It
until
was a
we were kind of
calling.
thrust into it.
Yes, it was definitely a calling for us, you know? Where I am now, if you would've told me this early 2018 before my pregnancy journey or before then, I would've laughed. I would've cackled. I wouldn't even laugh. You know, a cackle is different than a laugh. Like, I would've cackled.
Yeah. Yeah. But and it's so funny to me because I can't see you doing anything else, like,
Right,
with a
me
right?
either.
Right?
Me either. I'm like, now, like, since I've been telling my story, I've been on Essence Magazine, Women's Health, The Bump, like,
Yeah.
all these publications, so many podcasts. I've been on over 50 podcasts at this point, and I've spoken at over 40 speaking engagements, and I started this whole nonprofit, and it's just been crazy. Like, I can't see myself doing anything else either. This is like
Yeah.
my life now.
It's crazy, but it's also, like, it's awe-inspiring. I know sometimes that hits a little funny,
Hmm.
like, when, because 'cause you're like, "Well, what I went through isn't really inspirational, it kinda sucked." But,
Right.
like
Horribly.
right? But, like, what you're doing and what I see you doing and see the passion behind it, it is inspiring for me. Like, I this is just me fangirling a little bit, but, like, I see what you're able to accomplish, and I see all of these incredible things that you're doing, and I'm like, "Oh my god, like, we can do this. We can make a difference. Rachelle's making a difference. We can make a difference." So anyway, we're gonna get into your story rather than me just, like, pouring praise on you because I could do that the whole time if you want, but,
I'm a
um
Leo, so I love the words of affirmation.
ooh, there you go. There you go. I'm an Aquarius, and
Are you?
I am, and I just learned that I don't know how you say it. I'm an Engram 2, which
I have
means
no.
oh, yeah, I just learned it. It means that I'm like a servant or a caregiver. So,
Okay.
like, see, like, I'll feed your ego all day if you want me to. Um, but let's do that. Let's go back in time, like you said, like, um before you got into this whole journey, did you always envision yourself as a mother?
I didn't. I didn't envision myself as a mother until I got with my husband. I saw myself as a rich auntie.
Mm, the
That's what
fun
I saw.
aunt.
Yeah, traveling all the time, travel nurse, traveling. Every time I came home and visited my nieces and nephews and my friends' kids, gifts. You know,
Yeah.
they love me. So we FaceTime on the phone all the time. Where are you now? Maldives, you know.
Oh, oh my
That's what
god,
I
I'm living
thought.
my life.
Right, that's what I thought.
Oh my god, I love that. What changed? Just meeting your husband?
Literally, I was just like, maybe I can do it. Because just to give you some context, I had a very traumatic childhood, like an extremely traumatic childhood. And I just grew up like I didn't want to be, I didn't want my child to experience what I did. And then it just took a lot of therapy, which I've been in since I was a child, to like really come to terms with that I'm responsible for that outcome. Not all of it, you know, you could be a great parent and your child end up however they end up, but they don't have to go through what I went through. Like I could be a great parent, you know.
Mhm.
So it wasn't until I started really paying attention to other people's family dynamics and things like that where I was like, "Oh, it is possible." Like, people have good relationships with their parents, like, you know, so I was like, "Oh, I could kinda do this." You know, I actually do want a child, like, I want to leave that legacy and pour into somebody and they grow up to be whoever they grow up to be, but this great person at the end of the day. So that's when it kinda switched when I met him.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that too, that I mean, and again, I'm lumping you into, I'm assuming, a lot of the parents that I talk to were in that millennial, like, age
Mhm.
bracket-ish, and, we seem to be the generation of cycle breakers.
Yes.
So, it's not uncommon for me to hear, like, I did not have the greatest childhood, and I didn't
Mhm.
think I wanted to do that, but I learned I don't have to do that. I can
Right.
have right? Yeah. So, I mean, I know I know the journey, but my listeners don't.
Yeah.
So, you met your partner, obviously, I mean, they have to be a fantastic person because you married them, so, like, I mean, and you are just, like, joy and amazingness, so I'm already assuming that they're amazing. You decided you wanted to have a family, you start that journey. Walk me through that a little bit. It's a big question, I know,
It
for you.
is. So, that was 2018. Got a positive pregnancy test, and I was bleeding, so I went to a OB and did a vaginal ultrasound. He told me I was having a miscarriage. So my first pregnancy that I was aware of, and the first pregnancy that I wasn't actually planning for ended in a miscarriage. I'm like, okay. And he was so nonchalant about saying, you're going to have a healthy baby. This is just part of the journey. Don't worry about it. So me being a critical care nurse and not anything in maternal health, I'm like, oh, is this like what women are out here experiencing? Like, is everybody having a miscarriage? And it's just like, oh, okay, cool. I'll have another one. So I'm
Yeah,
like, oh, okay. Well, I guess when like we start to try, it'll be fine, I guess.
yeah. Yeah,
Right.
right, yeah, you didn't have any context to go
Right.
with.
And I was like, the doctor's fine with it, so I guess I'm fine with it. So,
Yeah.
I went on, continued doing travel nursing. Actually, in 2020, went to New York to help out with COVID,
Wow.
and yeah, I caught COVID, and I was
Oh,
like fighting for my life between my hotel room and the ER where I was working. I wasn't working in the ER, but in the hospital that I worked at. And once I got better, which took weeks, I came back home to Atlanta, and not too long after that, I fell pregnant. I was at work, did a pregnancy test. My boobs were hurting and, things didn't feel like they usually felt. So I went to the ER this time because I was bleeding. I'm like,
mhm,
okay, here, am I having another miscarriage? And they did a vaginal ultrasound. They cleared me and they were like, yeah, you're fine. You may have what's called a subchorionic hemorrhage,
mm,
which is a sac of blood that's often formed during the implantation period when the babies are digging into your uterus to implant. Sometimes it leaves that sac of blood. Oftentimes, it's reabsorbed by the body. If you do go on to have a healthy pregnancy, it's fine. There's a small amount of times where it's not fine. So he said, babies look fine. It was twins. I know. What do you mean twins? First of all, he said, follow up with your OB. And by the time I got to the OB, the bleeding got worse. I had 10 out of 10 pain, like cramping so, so bad. And I started feeling nauseous and vomiting. I was really sick, Chelsea. Like I was sick. I'm like,
yeah,
it's hard for me to drive to this appointment. Like I'm hunched over in the ER. I mean, in the waiting room at the OB. She did the ultrasound. Babies look good. She said, yes, there's a subchorionic hemorrhage, but everything looks fine. She did like the just a standard blood test to check my hemoglobin to make sure I'm not bleeding out too much. And she put me on iron just to help bring that back up. But I kept being sent home. And I'm calling after hours because my pain is getting worse. Like I can't sleep, I can't lay down, I can't stand up, I can't walk. The bleeding is bad. I'm like, this doesn't just seem like like a normal thing,
yeah,
like they're telling me it is. So I'm going to the ER, I'm getting sent home, and at 13 weeks and 3 days, I lost the first baby
mm,
and all my symptoms went away. So I'm like, okay, I feel better. I still am pregnant. I'm going to be okay. It's a little over 13 weeks, I went back to the OB. They confirmed that the baby was gone, like the first baby was gone, and that everything looked fine. So I was comfortable enough to allow my friends to throw a gender reveal, which it's 2020. It was virtual, but they came to my house to set up. Go to the bathroom, like at the start of the gender reveal, and the baby just falls out.
Mm.
It just falls out. And I'm like devastated. I'm like, what could I have done differently? Like,
Yeah.
could have, what could I have said to make this not happen? And I
Yeah.
felt like so guilty for some reason, despite of this happening to me.
Mhm.
It's such a weird feel.
Well, and how were you still 13 weeks or you were over 13 weeks at that
No,
point?
at this point, we were 2 weeks later. So we're 15
So
weeks and
15
2
weeks.
days, like literally 2 weeks later.
Oh my gosh. And so something that is striking me when you're talking about this too is that it feels like you were just dismissed over and
A
over and
hundred
over
percent.
again.
100%. I was sent away so many times. Well, the ultrasound looks fine. There was no full evaluation or deeper digging to see if there were any genetic components to the loss, any thyroid issues at play, any autoimmune diseases. All those things could contribute to losses. I was never sent to a specialist
Mhm.
to monitor me. You know, later on, I found out about reproductive endocrinologists and maternal fetal medicine doctors, you know, all these specialists. And I just felt robbed of that opportunity. So, yeah, it was just weird.
Well, I mean, weird is putting it lightly. Like, yeah, you were experiencing even with no context. Like, yes, you're a nurse, but like you said, like if it had to do with OB, you were like, someone else take this. Um, you knew your body, you knew something was wrong. And that's not even tapping into the mental aspect of all of this. You've lost a
Right.
pregnancy that wasn't planned. That
Hmm.
one you kind of were like, "Okay, all right, well, everything's gonna be fine." This one was planned, not twins necessarily,
Right.
but, um, and then you lose one and are kinda told like, "Yep, the other one's fine." It's like, "Okay, but what about this first one's not?" And then you lose your second one, like, at that point in time, did you feel like you were able to grieve, or was that even a point like, were you even at that point?
So it was grieving was like not my main priority. My
Yeah.
main priority began to be figuring out what was wrong with me. I
Mm,
went into nurse mode, fix it mode, like what is going on? Y'all are saying all these things are normal, but losing 3 babies now is not normal. And also there was like this air of distrust between me and my providers because I am told it's normal. Go home, rest. It's normal. And then I lose the baby. How was it normal?
yeah.
It's just it was just a lot. So now I'm like, okay, should I switch provider? Do further investigation somehow? Is there like a third opinion I should get? Because this is a different OBGYN than the one in 2018.
Mhm.
So I went to the ER after the loss just to make sure like all the placenta could be removed and I don't get an infection and then sepsis and die.
Yeah.
You know. So I go to the ER. It's 2020. Granted, I don't want to be there,
Yeah.
especially under the circumstances. The doctor is like, "What brings you in?" Well, I just lost my second baby. I'm 15 weeks and 3 days. I went to the bathroom and I the baby just fell out. And she said, "How did you know you were pregnant?"
What?
Literally her response.
Are are you kidding me? You were I'm, like, flabbergasted right now. Like, what?
I said, "Well, do you wanna see a picture of the baby in the toilet?" She's like, "Yeah." So I show her and she's like, "Oh, that's a baby."
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm already at a point where, like, I'm thinking, "Man, I can't trust these doctors," and then then I go to the ER, and then it's just like you questioning, like, I wanna be in the ER in 2020. Like, anybody
Yeah.
wants to be in the ER in 2020. Like,
Oh my god.
nobody wants to be here, ma'am. Like, this is not something I will make up, you know?
Well, and I mean, she obviously doesn't know maybe at the time that you're a nurse, but you're a human and you were over 15 weeks pregnant. How do you know you were pregnant? I because I was pregnant.
Because I was
Like,
pregnant. Like, I
right,
don't know
like,
how to answer your question. That's why I was like, "Do you need proof?" Like, because
yeah.
I just told you I was pregnant. So, and this is the same ER I've been to numerous times throughout this pregnancy because I was sick the whole time,
Yeah.
before the loss of the first baby, and I'm like, "Oh, wow, like, is this gonna be my journey? Like, is this what patients are going through?" Like, I've been on the other side so long that I didn't realize just how bad it was for other patients. I would never treat a patient like that. I would never.
No.
It has never. I don't care how bad I'm doing going into work. I've had miscarriages taking care of patients at work.
Mm.
And it's just like, where are you right now? Is it the COVID compassion fatigue? Like,
Yeah,
what?
I still don't think that's an excuse to especially for a question like that. Like, I can understand COVID fatigue and, like, maybe being a little cranky
Yeah,
or burnt out, but asking a woman who has just lost their 15 plus week baby in the way that you did, "Are you sure you were pregnant?" That blows my mind. That absolutely blows my mind.
that was my reality. Um, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, how do you move forward from there? How do you
I
even
don't like you just at the same time, like I'm like bleeding my guts out. So it's
Oh
just like
my
literally
god.
like, all right, moving forward, can we like get me to the back? Like I this diaper is not lasting, like, that I'm in. I need
Yeah.
to like placenta is coming out. I don't know like what else you need to do. Do an ultrasound.
Yeah, like, you're giving her order. You're like, "I'm not supposed to be the nurse in this situation. I'm the
Right.
patient."
But I always find myself being a nurse all the time. Even recently, I was telling you with my brain surgeries that I had, like the amount of advocacy and nurse jargon and neuro ICU experience that I had to throw around and use in order to get two surgeries that I needed that the team already declared that I needed was just
Mm.
insane. And I was going blind at this time, couldn't walk, like when do I get a chance to just be a patient?
Yeah.
Like, I'm
Well,
sick, like, I can't even see it. I can't even see you. Like,
no. That's the
crazy.
state of our healthcare system right now in this country, and that's
Mhm.
a whole other podcast, which I also host. But,
But we
we
could
we
definitely talk about my
we
other neuro issue
yeah, we
after
could talk about
that.
listen, we'll have to chat after this because, man, I'd love your take on that. But yeah, like the amount of advocacy work that you had to do, and thankfully you do have that background and you do have that knowledge, but that is the reality for not only birthing people, especially for birthing people of color, who are being dismissed over and over and over again, but just in general, even in like, so this is not my time or my story, but in the disabled community, like advocating for continuity of care and for
Yes,
doctors to communicate with each other. And like, you have to become an expert in healthcare jargon and stuff because
you
it's
do?
not happening. So yeah, I'm here. I'm all fired up for you. And I even like I know most of your story, but I don't know the details. And I'm still getting fired up right now. Like, um, how how do you make the decision after an experience like that to continue trying?
Yeah, so after that, I was actually diagnosed with cervical insufficiency. So now we have a diagnosis, right?
Yeah.
So the cervix is too weak to carry a baby full term. So when they get heavy enough around the end of the first trimester, beginning of the second, cervix quietly opens and the baby comes out. Okay, so what do we do about that? Well, you need a cerclage. You need a suture, a stitch around your cervix to keep the baby in.
Mm-hmm.
And that happens at 13 weeks. So I'm told by the OB after only being told about one type of cerclage. So I'm like, okay. The issue is moving forward, I had early miscarriages, 6 weeks, 7 weeks, 5 weeks, and things like this. So I'm like, okay. And I'm telling her I'm having these early miscarriages and she's aware. And I'm never referred to a specialist. And like I said, I'm not a maternal health nurse, so I don't know about a reproductive endocrinologist at a time and maternal fetal medicine and a reproductive geneticist. It wasn't until a friend of mine brought me into her sister's clinic and she's like, hey, you need to take progesterone suppositories to try to strengthen your cervix to make it to 13 weeks if that's what your doctor is telling you to do. I'm going to prescribe it for you. She didn't even prescribe that. Like, okay, thank you.
Yeah.
And then a manager of mine was like, you need to see a reproductive endocrinologist and geneticist. You need to see somebody. They need to do some testing on your uterus, genetic testing for you and your husband. You know, we need to get to the bottom of all these losses as well because you're having early losses. Cervical insufficiency justifies the later ones, but not the earlier ones. Ask your OB for a referral. Went to the OB, asked her for a referral for both of those doctors, and she happily wrote one. I'm like, well, why didn't you recommend this? Like 3 losses ago, 2 losses
Yeah.
ago, you know?
Yeah.
So I went to the reproductive geneticist, and so did my husband. There was no genetic component to it. I went to the reproductive endocrinologist, and she did a thorough evaluation. She checked for thyroid issues, autoimmune diseases that could cause pregnancy loss. And then she scheduled me for a procedure to check the anatomy of my uterus to see if there was an issue with the shape that was causing loss, and also to see if there was underlying inflammation that could have been causing the loss. And the day of the procedure, I found out I was pregnant. Things things
Whoa.
change. I know, Chelsea, I'm very
Yeah.
fertile. I'm
Yeah,
very
you
fertile. I
are.
promise you. My husband didn't even touch me at this time. I don't know how I was pregnant. I don't know. It just happened. I don't know. He looked at me too long at this point.
Rachell.
It don't take much at this time. It don't take
No,
much.
clearly.
So,
Okay, so you're pregnant, so you
yeah.
can't get the procedure?
So I can't get the procedure. So she said instead, we're gonna change plans. You're gonna do the progesterone suppository. I was like, oh yeah, my friend's sister just prescribed me that. She was like, yes, take it immediately. Which you would take it from the time you did a positive pregnancy test, anytime you're pregnant. And then I'm going to follow you for the first trimester. You'll graduate to a maternal fetal medicine doctor. At 13 weeks, they'll put in a cerclage, and then they'll follow you the rest of the way, in addition to your OB following you throughout the pregnancy. I'm like, okay, we have a plan. I really like her. She's like, yeah, we're going to fight for this. This is the plan. It was very reassuring. I love the reproductive endocrinologist. And other people typically like them too that I've talked to. Like that's where you like really get a plan of action. When you're like going through the trenches of infertility, your reproductive endocrinologist is the person who's like, this is what we're going to do. This is what we can do. This is what wouldn't work for you all. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's a very reassuring appointment. And I needed that after the experiences with my providers.
Yeah.
I took the progesterone suppositories, made it to 13 weeks, made it to the operating room. She put in the cerclage, and that's 13 weeks, right? She said, come back at 20 weeks. And I'm like, absolutely not. I need to be seen earlier. I had 5 losses. Like, that's 7 weeks of not seeing you. Anything can happen
Yeah.
during that time. I just don't feel comfortable. Can I be seen sooner? And she's like, no, I've never seen one fail. If it was to fail, you'll have excruciating pain. It'll be bleeding like fireworks. Like you would know. I'm like, okay, well, at least I'll see the OB during this time, you know. So I'm like, okay. So I left. 7 weeks later, I came back. I felt great. No symptoms. I'm like, okay, write a passage, 3D ultrasound,
Yeah.
this appointment, you know. So mid ultrasound, the tech leaves And the surgeon comes in and she's like, your cerclage failed.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, what do you mean it failed? Like, I feel great. You told me it'll be like fireworks. What are you talking about? It failed. Like, I don't have bleeding. Like, the baby is kicking and moving around. I don't have pain. Like, what are
Yeah.
you talking about? And she's like, yeah, it failed. I was like, well, what are we gonna do? So can you like revise it? Can we put in another cerclage? Can we put me on bed rest? And she was like, well, you can go and deliver your baby. Very nonchalantly.
What?
So nonchalantly that I questioned if the baby would survive. I'm like when the baby died, like at 20 weeks? And she's like, yes.
What? Oh my God. Just literally like nonchalant. Like, yeah.
Yeah. I was like, why? Like the baby is like fine. He's like great. Like, why would I do that?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I would be committing a homicide at this point. I'm gonna just go
Yeah.
and deliver the baby. We know the baby is fine, and like we didn't try anything. Like you just casually like. She was like, "Yeah, I could call the maternity triage to let them know you're on the way." Like it was like, what?
Like she made the decision for you. She's like, oh yeah, this
Yeah,
is happening.
like I couldn't even digest the information. Like I just came in for an appointment, felt fine. You told me I would feel horrible if it failed. Don't feel horrible. You telling me it failed, and now minutes later you're like, "Yeah, I could call ahead so you could go and deliver your healthy baby who's gonna die."
Oh my God.
So I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna do that. Like, please get out of my way. And I left.
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
like I left the office and I'm doing research. I'm calling the village. I'm calling everybody I know. This is the scenario. We need a doctor. I found like a peer reviewed article from this study that showed pregnant persons around 20 weeks or greater with transvaginal cerclages received transabdominal ones, and they did great.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, okay, this is promising. Not getting my hopes too high, but now we have to find a doctor who will do it. We found 3 doctors, one in Atlanta, but he wasn't doing it at the time. We found another doctor in Fort Lauderdale. She wasn't answering the phone. Then we found Dr. Fogwell at Texas Health, and he calls me on his cell phone and was like, if you want to fight, I'm going to fight with you. This is risky. Do you understand the risk? I'm like, yes. He was like, I need you to fly here. I'm like, well, doc, there's like a baby falling out my vagina.
Yeah. Yeah.
He was like, if you drive, like so much could happen during that time. I don't trust to drive. I need you to fly here. It's like less than 2 hours. I'm like, okay. All right. Should I let American Airlines know we might deliver a baby on a plane? Like, should I just go incognito?
Yeah.
Make a big deal. So I was like, no, I'm gonna tell the stewardess. Listen, there's a baby falling out my vagina. I need to get to Dallas, Texas. Don't let nobody get off the plane before me. I need to get off the plane first.
Yes.
Like, I need to say it where it's not threatening, like you think I'm about to do something with the plane. No, there's something in me. Like we gotta keep it in me. Like
Yeah.
so I made it there. They rolled out the red carpet. I mean, phenomenal experience. He was texting me at different times of the night. He was at my bedside at 3 a.m. I mean, I'm pretty sure Dr. Farr was a vampire because he doesn't sleep. Like,
He
there's
was
like
just
no
always
other.
there.
He was just always there. There's like no other like justification for this man to always be there the way he is. He has to be a vampire. You can't convince me otherwise. But so I used to joke with him like, Dr. Fogwell, like, go to sleep. He was like, not until you're fine. I was like, but we know I won't be fine for a while. Like, I won't really be fine till I see a baby. And the baby is healthy. But he was like, no, we got to get you to surgery. That 3-hour surgery took 8 hours. And I woke up, it was successful. Everybody was cheering. You're still pregnant. We did it. That was what Dr. Fogwell did. Like he flew in women, did high risk surgeries. Like this was like his thing. And he saved so many lives and he's done so much for women, for families, for babies, for everybody. And but the issue was when the anesthesia wore off, the contraction set in because it took too long and then it irritated my cervix and I was in labor for 30 hours. I was in labor for 30 hours and then my water broke and that was it. We had to go back to the operating room and get both of the cerclages out because he left the other one in. I delivered a baby boy on the 18th of July, 2021. And Dr. Fogwell was like, if that was to happen, I'm going to bring you back, no charge. And we're going to put in a transabdominal cerclage, which you should have had anyway. And you're going to be a mom. And I believed him. Despite of all the craziness, I believed that.
Yeah.
So this was the last ditch effort, right? A transabdominal cerclage, which is like, has the greatest success rate outside of pregnancy. It's not emergent. And I just felt like, I just had to try. So I had some early miscarriages in between that time, but still went to Texas that November, got the transabdominal cerclage. March of 2022, got a positive pregnancy test, followed by the reproductive endocrinologist again. Did the progesterone mostly throughout the pregnancy this time. Graduated to a different maternal fetal medicine doctor. I was seen by the OB. And then on December 30th, 2022, I gave birth to a 4-pound, 16-ounce baby boy who's been about 3 days in the NICU, who is, like I said, my now pot-belly 2-year-old toddler.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh. What a freaking ride. What a ride to get to that little boy. And honoring every single one of those babies that made you a mom before him.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Oh my
Right.
goodness. And just so I'm understanding, like you worked with this doctor in Texas throughout the pregnancy with your son too, or?
So no, he really, like, I'll text him updates and stuff like that, but really after he put in that transabdominal cerclage outside of pregnancy, that's where he ended. I don't live in Texas. I live in Atlanta.
Right.
So it's like I would do some calls, like some checkups, like virtually with him and
Yeah.
his nurse practitioner. But because I had some issues too during that time, like I developed a sperm allergy.
A sperm allergy.
Yes, I developed a sperm allergy.
You
And
can,
they helped me through that.
yeah, just add that to the mix. Let's just throw that in
At it
there.
all. At it all.
Oh my God.
But they were really like, oh my God, give us updates,
Yeah.
They were really involved with my baby in the process, just emotionally and just keeping up with us throughout that pregnancy.
So these questions, I always hate asking these questions because it's so huge, but the questions are so small. But like, were you even able to enjoy any of your especially like, I mean, the final pregnancy that brought you your living son, were you able to enjoy any of that, or were you constantly on edge?
I think there were moments of like, I don't know if I would say enjoyment, but there were moments where I allowed myself to like be like just be in a moment. I was still going through therapy this whole time. Like I started therapy again after the loss in Texas, like a few weeks after that. And I really had to be mindful and intentional about like saying, okay, staying in the present. I'm pregnant right now. We can't control what happens in an hour or even 30 minutes or 5 minutes from now, but I'm pregnant right now. He's kicking. I'm going to enjoy this kick. I'm going to really like, all of that had to be intentional. And I feel like enjoyment is more effortless. And I
Yeah.
had to put forth an effort to do
Yeah.
all that. And even though I had like a baby shower, I was a nervous wreck the whole time because I had that horrible loss at my gender reveal. I planned so many baby showers and canceled them all.
Yeah.
I was just like, man, I went into it telling my friends and everybody, like, don't ask me what's wrong with me during this day. We just need to get through this day. I'm fine. Do not question how I'm doing all day. That's going to irritate me.
Uh-huh.
I just want to get through this day. So once we made it through the baby shower, I had the best time in the parking lot chatting with my friends. Like literally, like we were chatting, joking, all this. That was
It
I
was the
was
after party.
it was like, "Oh my god." Right, it was an after party. I was just like, "Oh my god, it's over. We did it. We made it through." I sent out invitations. It happened, and nothing happened with the baby. Like, we made it through.
Yeah.
So, there were periods of enjoyment, but it was still an undertone of denial that I would have a baby throughout the whole time. It was fear that something would still happen or that the surprise would, break. It was, like, so much anxiety, PTSD, like, it was so much. I can't really throw in enjoyment in the midst
Yeah.
of that. Yeah,
That's what I mean, like, so asking that question is such a loaded question because it's like,
yeah,
what is enjoyment? And I love that you mentioned that you were being intentional and being
yeah.
present. That's a skill. That's a
It is. It's
skill.
a muscle you have to exercise.
Yes, yes, and it's also a muscle you have to exercise beyond. I'm sure you're still doing it to this day
Yeah.
because it leaves lasting effects.
It does, and now I'm better, but, like, when I had him, even rolling back, like, the anesthesiologist because I had a C-section,
Mhm.
the anesthesiologist, and I were joking about working at a hospital and COVID and all these things, and I was telling him, I was like, "Listen, you can it's okay if, like, it's an alien that comes out and not a baby, like, I'm already preparing for it to not be a baby." Like, like, I was in denial even until he cried and they showed me the baby, I was just like, "Oh my god, it's a child. Like, when did this happen?" You
Yeah.
know, everybody was crying in the OR because I had told everybody my story, just like I'm telling you now. Like, that was the soundtrack to the delivery, was
Was
me telling this
everybody just
story.
yeah, and
They
everybody
were bawling.
bawling.
Everybody's, like, bawling, and then he went to the NICU, and I'm like, "Did I really have a baby?
Mm,
He's not even here. I don't even see a child. Like, I don't even hear a baby or nothing, like." So, it interrupted the bonding for sure, and I treated him like a patient, and I was his nurse for, like, that first month
yeah.
until, like, I got to the point to give myself permission to be like, "Okay, you are his mom. He is not going anywhere."
Mhm.
And then after that, it was just like, "That's me and my baby. Anywhere he go, I wear him." Like, I wore him everywhere. Like, I didn't even know how to use the stroller at this point. Like, it was just me and him, you know, and it's just been us since then.
Yeah, and that speaks to as well, like, there are so many families that go through, like, NICU journeys or that go through multiple losses and things like that, and they like you said, like, that bonding doesn't come instantly, and it's
Mhm.
so important to hear it doesn't have to come instantly, and if it doesn't, there's nothing wrong with you. You're a human that just went through something really, really crazy, and it'll come, and it'll come in whatever form it comes in. For you, you developed it from, "Okay, I'm his nurse," to one day, "Okay, no, I'm his mom. Like, I'm his mom." Um, yeah, there's so many different avenues that we could explore and dive
Mhm.
into. We'd be here all day, and
Right.
I wouldn't mind it, but, we'd have to do a whole season of just
Right.
Rachel, right? Like, which, you know what? I'm open to,
Right.
but, like,
So much, like, I have so
oh
much
my
material, unfortunately.
gosh! Um, but let's pivot a little bit and not to at all take away from your experience because but your what you experienced launched you into where you are now and where you were going to a light after 9 and which is oh my god, what you're doing for maternal mental health and maternal health care and for BIPOC maternal health care is phenomenal. I love watching you speak. I love seeing the passion behind what you're doing. Talk to me about when you started to feel that calling.
Yeah, so I took a year and a half off, a year and 8 months off of just not working and not, worrying and like really checking in with my mental health and bonding with my baby and doing all these things and resting and not being pregnant. That was the big thing.
Yeah.
Just like to really horn in on that grief and coping and all the things that happened during this time. It was just so much that had happened. My neurological issue started 6 months postpartum too. So
Mm.
I had to really like sit down and like figure out what was wrong with me neurologically. So
Yeah, right.
um
Let's throw something else in the
right, let's
mix.
throw another trauma.
Yeah.
So and another medical mystery. So Chelsea, the thing about me, I'm rarely sick, but when I'm sick, like I'm dying. Like it's like the
Yeah.
worst. It's like the worst. Like
If this will resonate, I call myself the Murphy's Law of, like, patience. It's like, if it's gonna happen and it's rare, it's gonna happen to me.
yep,
It sounds like you're the same way.
it is. It's like it's
Yeah.
gonna be like, man, you're hard to figure out. Man, this is not traditional. Man, like it's just always that I really have to work with my provider team. I really have to strategically choose them and make sure they listen to me and believe me. I really have to choose a team who is like not threatened by what I know, but it's like, okay, like she knows what she's talking about and we trust her. Whatever she asks to be ordered, we gonna order that. Like,
Yeah.
like with the neurological issues, I was like, no, can we do a CT venogram? Oh no, I need a lumbar puncture. We need to check what the ICP is. Can we like? I'm really dishing out. Or can you put an order in for that? Okay, cool.
You were like, an episode of The Pit from the
Yeah.
hospital bed, right? Like, you were like, "This is what I need, stat."
Right. I need this
Yeah.
stat, please. Like, can we do this like this week or tomorrow? Or no, this needs to be done today. Like, my vision is pretty bad. We need to see where I'm at, and then we could start maybe IV acetazolamide, post to the PO one, so we could get that quicker. All right.
It's like you're
All
speaking
right.
Greek. I have no
Yes. So imagine like the people who like are dying because they can't do this. Like,
Yeah.
so but I did take a hiatus and then on my birthday last year, I was like, I really would hate for anyone to go through what I went through remotely.
Mhm.
Remotely. And I was like, I'm gonna start a nonprofit. I'm gonna help people. I could speak the language. I know advocacy. I'm gonna give other, not just the women who are carrying a baby, but their village, the tools that they need to navigate difficult pregnancy journeys. I'm gonna turn my story into an interactive case study. So when I speak, just like I spoke yesterday, at a conference, I presented as a case study.
Love that
And
you do that.
yeah, I love it. And the audience loves it. I always get like rave reviews, standing ovations. They use a QR code. We go through each scenario, which is each pregnancy. They choose what should have been the best care option. Of course, that wasn't what happened. It was the worst.
Yeah.
And at the end, I reveal it's me. So in real time, you're seeing what happens,
Yeah.
what the plight of not just Black women, but definitely Black women and other women, just pregnant women in the United States right now. It's hard and it's scary to be pregnant.
Absolutely. Especially right now. And again, we won't even go down this path, but like I can't imagine with the amount of times you were disregarded and the amount of interventions that you ended up needing, having to navigate that in today's America. I It scares me to even think about.
Hmm.
And it's not like it was that much better then, but regardless, um you're doing these incredible things. You are creating villages. I want to know about your village. When you were going through all this, who had your back? It sounds like you had
Yeah.
awesome medical team friends that you could fall back on.
Yeah, I did have like really like coworkers. I had friends. My family all lived in New Orleans, so I didn't really have like familial support in that way. So it was really me doing all the advocacy. And infertility isn't something like you want to shout from the mountaintops either.
Mhm.
So a lot of times I just went through it alone. I don't want to say embarrassing, but just out of not wanting to traumatize people, because I didn't prepare for the trauma, the secondhand trauma that people who were along this journey with me experienced. I didn't realize that until this year when we talked about it, how traumatized they were. Like, I have friends who just haven't tried for babies, and
Yeah.
they're like, the one when the pregnancy, when the baby found in the toilet just was too much. I'm still trying to process that.
Yeah.
And here I am. Well, that happened. We got to go on to the next one.
Right?
We got to keep moving. We got to keep moving. We can't harp on that one. They're still stuck on the October 31st, 2020 loss.
Yeah.
It's 2025.
We're in a new era.
Right. We're in my brain surgery era.
Yeah.
Can't think about, I can't think, I can't think about that era right now.
Yes.
Like,
yeah.
this is Jumanji, honey. I don't know. The monkeys are about to be released. I can't think about that right now.
God, this is Jumanji. I think that's my new catchphrase. I love that.
This is my life, Chelsea. Like, I've been telling people, the monkeys are about to be released. I don't know what's next. Is it the stampede with the elephants? I don't know.
We're going to start falling through the floor.
Right. I got to keep moving. I got to keep moving.
Oh my God. That really speaks to your character, though. You are a fixer. You're a fixer and a doer. And you want to problem solve. And you're doing that not only for yourself, but you're doing that for others now. And you're building those villages and making those resources known and available. This happens at least once an episode where all the tabs in my brain shut down. I'm sure that as a fellow, I did not have to have surgery, but I had a brain tumor. And so now, like, my brain just shuts down sometimes. But
I understand. It's like this fog, and like, I was doing my presentation yesterday, and it caught me, and I was like, God damn.
Like, are you kidding me?
Like, what was I about to say? Like, I hate
Yes.
that. I'm used to like seamless presentation. It's my story, so I never like mess up. And I'm just like, I gotta give myself grace during this time. I had 2 brain surgeries in the past 3 months. Like, nobody's like expecting perfection but me.
No, I mean, yes, and I'm the same way. But yeah, it's like we're deep in it, and I'm like, oh, I know exactly where I want to go with this. And then all the tabs shut down. It's like, okay, all right, reboot. I'm glad you can understand. I can be like, oh yeah, right? Like, I'm glad I can be like, okay, yeah, my brain doesn't work. I was going blind
like 2 months ago. Like, I'm very understanding.
When you reached out to me and told me what was going on, I was like, holy shit, like, stop everything. Like, please, like, stop everything. Like, you were like, I'm so sorry. I'm like, do not apologize to me.
And I'll be genuinely apologetic too. Like, oh my God, like, I'm so sorry.
I was the same way when I was in the neuro ICU. I had my husband, because I couldn't see, I had my husband emailing my guests, being like, I'm so sorry, I'm in the ICU. Like, right. So I get it. So again, I've spent a lot of this episode talking about how much I admire about you. And it's true. It's true. I really do. Life has dealt you hand after hand that should have knocked you down, and you for sheer willpower just keep getting up. And you're not even getting up for yourself every day. You're getting up for your son. You're getting up for the other moms that this is happening to, even other patients that may not be birthing people, but like, you're advocating for quality of care, continuity of care, especially mental health care and maternal care. Talk to me about where you see a light after 9 going from here. What's your like home run, hit it out of the park goal for your nonprofit?
Yeah, so we want to continue to get sponsors so we can do more, and that will look like a lot of things, more events, bigger events. We really want to host a conference next year in October during Pregnancy and Infant Loss Awareness Month. That's a major month for me. I even lost a baby during that month on Halloween.
Yeah.
So we want to offer more and give more free resources, because the last thing that we will want to do is charge other people for things that we know they need when healthcare is so expensive. Like I'm still paying for bills from losses I had. Like
Which is
it's been
insane.
years.
Which is
It's been
insane.
years.
Yeah.
It's been years. So it's so much, and we just want to support these moms in whichever way possible. But definitely being booked for even more conferences. Like I've done a lot of speaking engagements and have a lot planned. But I would love to be like the spokesperson for um, different healthcare organizations, Johnson and Johnson, Huggies,
Mm.
and all these bigger organizations, so we can shine a light on pregnancy loss. It's such a hard and tumultuous journey, but we need the support, and there needs to be a light shined on it, because so many of us go through it, and a lot of us go through it silently,
Mm-hmm.
and we shouldn't. We should have support. We're also, like I was saying earlier when we were talking, we're doing research to study how comfortable people are with advocating for themselves, which most are not,
Mm-mm.
and speaking the jargon, in order to get the things that they need in a healthcare setting and the treatment they need, medications, and their questions answered, and comparing it to their healthcare outcomes, which typically are poor because of the lack of the ability to advocate. And I'm building an app to fix that, to make others more comfortable, because throughout my pregnancy journey and now throughout my neurological journey where I needed 2 brain surgeries, I I had to use a lot of nurse jargon, healthcare jargon. I literally was in there talking about, acetazolamide and my left transverse sinus stenosis, and my idiopathic intracranial hypertension and my intracranial pressure. Things
Things I
that
would never know.
the
Things I would
things
never know what
that
to say.
right that the layperson would not be able to communicate and or sometimes understand if told to them. So we're not only suffering in silence, we're dying in silence because we're not able to advocate for ourselves. And with the quote unquote big beautiful bill that has passed, it's projected that over 300 rural hospitals are closing, which is going to cause oversaturation of other hospitals and clinics and providers. So that's even less time that they're going to be able to spend with patients. So we need to make that time meaningful, both
Mm-hmm.
in clinics, the appointments, and in the hospital, in all healthcare settings. So that is what I'm working on right now to hopefully change how patient-provider interaction occurs.
I love it so much. I know that you're going to do these things. Like, I
Thank you so
know it's
much.
going to happen. I just know it is. And I'm so excited to be able to watch this unfold for you. These will all be linked in the show notes. You have a website. Your website's
Mhm.
also beautiful. I have website envy. Um,
I
but
actually built that in 16 hours.
Oh my God. Okay. I'm just on Wix trying my best to do what I can do with my website. Yours is gorgeous. That will be linked in the show notes. But before I go any further, for listeners that really want to follow along, which they should, where can they find you? Where would you like them to look for
Yeah.
you?
So on social media for my nonprofit, and for infertility, fertility, pregnancy loss, and just pregnancy resources, we're a Light After Nine. So at a Light After Nine on Instagram, on Threads, a Light After Nine on LinkedIn and Facebook. You can search on TikTok. I am R Dumas, RN. And we have a website, like Chelsea mentioned. It's a light after nine. Those are all words, not the number 9, a light after 9.org. And then if you want to be on the list or a beta tester or investor for the app, or even be involved in research, that is SpeakRx. That is the name of the app, is SpeakRx. And you can go to our website. It's speakrxapp.com. And by the time this episode airs, it should be out.
That is so exciting. Oh, I'm for sure going to be looking more into that. I think that it's
Yeah,
incredible. Like I said, there are so many things that we could talk about, and I'd love to have you back if you ever wanted to come
I
back.
would love to.
I'd love it so much. But I've started doing things a little differently with the way I end my episodes. And it's again, I've mentioned it before, but it's like hearkening back to our millennial childhoods
Mhm.
where none of us really had cell phones. We had to use the landline and we had to leave a message if no one was home. So you don't know who my next guest is going to be. You don't know their story, but you're giving them a call and you're leaving them a message. Um, and I know that that can be a little daunting because, like I said, you don't know them, you don't know their story, but you're leaving them a message, you're leaving them a voicemail that they can hopefully take with them moving forward. What message would you leave for them?
To give yourself grace, whatever it is that you're going through during this period. This is a transitional season for a lot of people. For Chelsea, for myself, and just for other colleagues and those who have commented under my numerous posts about being able to graduate while being sick and getting surgery.
Yeah.
It's a lot of us going through these seasons, and throughout it all, we have never ending to do lists. We have children, we have partners, we have friends and work and all these things, and wear all these hats, but give yourself grace. That's my message.
I love it. The fun part about this, I hope it's gonna be fun. I don't know, like I said, it's new. Um, is that you'll have to listen to the episode before yours
Yeah.
to get your message. I know what your message is, but actually I don't off the top of my head. I'd have to go back and listen to it, but I love it. I just think it's a really cool way to form a
Yes.
connection.
I love that.
Yeah. And so we'll see. We're trying it out. We'll see how it goes. Um, Rachel, I am so thankful that you chose to spend some of your time with me today. And I for sure hope that we can stay connected. I am going to be following
Yes.
along. I know that you're going to do incredible things because you are doing incredible things and just yeah, thank you. Thank you for being here with me.
Thank you for having me and believing in me and being so supportive all the time.
I will
Thank you
always
so
hype you
much.
up. If you
You
need
do. You
Oh
really
my god. I
do.
will. I will always be there to hype you up. But yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rachell, for sharing your story with me. Your honesty and determination are a reminder of just how much strength it takes to navigate loss, advocate for yourself, and always keep moving forward. If you'd like to connect with Rachell, check out the links in the show notes for A Light After 9 and SpeakRx. And if you have a story of your own to share, we'd love to hear from you. Visit quietconnectionpodcast.com or find us on social media at Quiet Connection Podcast. I'll see you next week for another connection. But until then, remember, you are not alone. I see you.